this video, I'm going to show you how to create a customer in Amanda. So to create a customer, we go to the accounting menu, select customers, and then new customer. Now this is the contact screen, and we can use that to add customers, users, and suppliers. The principle is exactly the same, and depending on the ticks that are in these boxes here, Amanda knows how to treat the contact, whether it's customer, user, supplier, or in theory, all three. So the first thing you need to do when you're adding a new customer is select which type. Is it an individual or is the customer a company? And the reason why it's important is because it changes the fields that you get. So if you look at the moment, it's defaulting to company. If I change it to individual, you see the screen changes, so it will give you fields appropriate to an individual rather than for a company. So I'll stick with this for the moment, and I will say Mr. Williams Robert. Okay, you can put his middle name in if you want. Okay, so that's the basic information. Now you could actually leave it there and that would be sufficient for you to be able to send invoices to this customer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the rest of the screen. Now in this area, got fields to enter data, and there's also a lot of other tabs, and I'm going to go through these one at a time and explain them. So in the phone box here, you can select work or home number. So in this example, I've selected work phone number and enter the phone number. As far as the addresses are concerned, you can actually have 4 different addresses for each customer, and if you just use one, select main and it will use it for all types of correspondence, invoicing, and so on. So I'm just going to put the address in. So as you can see from here, what I've done with the address, I've used address line 1 to mark it for the attention of accounts payable. Now what you'll find is quite useful actually if you are working on a company as well, you might want to put in the first line of the address the name of the person or the department that you want the invoice to be addressed to. Then we've got the number and street. Alternatively, if you have a PO box address, just put the number in there and you can leave that blank and it will put PO box number, Hythe, Hampshire, or whatever. Postcode's quite important. I'll just put a space in there because this is used on the map, which I'll show you in a minute. So you can potentially have email addresses, websites, instant messaging, which is Skype, and a fax number. And again, you've got lots of options here. Just use the drop downs. If for some reason you want to delete anything, if you click on the minus sign, it will delete. And if you want to add another phone number, if you click on that one. Okay, and then when you've finished, just press save. Now we'll just look at the map tab, and you'll be able to see that what Amanda has done, it's got a little link into Google Maps there, so you can actually see exactly where this particular customer is situated. The third party tab is used to fill in defaults for this particular customer, so you can put their VAT reference number, our reference if you have one, a reference at the customers if there is one, payment terms. Now the system will default to 30 days payment terms, but if a different number of days agreed with your customer, you can put it in there. VAT, when you're creating an invoice, you can specify whether the invoice will default to VAT as separate or included. I'm going to put included in there. And customer account, this is where you can select which account any transactions should be sent to, and in this case it's trade debtors. Now when you're raising an invoice, you can have some defaults appear. Invoice. You can put which account you want to send this to. So this is, let's say it's sales products, what VAT code is applicable, and either a quantity or a cost. So I'm going to put 500 there. Now I'll show you something interesting. As I mentioned before, a customer can also be a supplier as well. And if I click on that, you'll see another set of third-party defaults appear. Now the top area is for invoices going to that person as a customer, and here this will be defaults as a supplier. And something else that's interesting is as soon as you set the contact to being a supplier and a customer, you get an extra tab, which is Supplier Invoices. Okay? The banking tab is really just for memorandum purposes. Quote. This tab will give you a list of any quotes that you've raised with this customer, the same as order and delivery and invoices. So this is a quick way of seeing all of the invoices for your particular customer or supplier. And statements relates to statements going to customers. And again, because we've only just added this customer, there aren't any to show. First of all, I'm going to do save because I have entered some data since the last time I saved it. So if I click on new, you will see that the invoice will be populated with not only the name and the address, but also the defaults that I added in the third party tab. You'll note that the date of the invoice will default to today's date, and it will also work out the due date and the expected date as well. So let's say I'm going to actually send this invoice on the 1st of December. As you tab across, you notice that the due date and expected date will change, and that's again adding the 15 days onto the date that the invoice is due to go. There are some other tabs up here if you need to change them. So for example, you can change the VAT included or separate setting up there. This tab is used to enter payments that you've received from the customer, any deductions, and this is quite a useful tab as well. You can make comments so you can keep track of what's happening with this particular invoice. So as far as the subject is concerned, the default has come through. Hello, I'll put something up there. And you can change that or add to it. And you can actually change any of these fields here, but you do need to put in a quantity. And finally, you need to press save. So once you've saved your invoice, you can print it, but you will need to validate it first, but this one has been validated. And if you select PDF, you can print it, or if you choose email, it will create a PDF and open a little box so that you can email it. So that's how to add a customer, a supplier. You can also create a contact who might be a user as well. The screens are exactly the same. So for instance, if we look at new user, that's the same. What does change is the tabs across the top. So if someone is just a user, they will only have the general information, the map, and a login screen where you can set them up with a password and username. So that's how easy it is to create a customer in Amanda. Thank you for watching the video.